Walking away from a bad habit person can sometimes be a challenging task for some people. Walking away from a bad habit person or persons can sometimes seem like an uncomfortable situation to do so, but sometimes you really have to take charge and ask yourself, what am I benefiting? Am I benefiting to have this? How am I benefiting having this person in my life? Does it produce stress? Does it produce vulnerability? Does it produce an uncomfortable state mentally, physically? We're talking about emotions here. We're talking about physically. We're talking about mind, body, and soul. How do I feel when I am around such bad habit persons? Ask yourself, what is the bad habit? Because some people love their bad habits. Some people want to enforce their bad habits. I think a bad habit could be considered trying to think for others, not allowing a person to be able to think and make sound mind decisions for themselves. Some people I call the spirit of control. They like to produce negativity sometimes in your life by giving you a chance not to be able to think. Not being able to think produces a mind that is cluttered. Cluttered with what? Cluttered with their perceptions. Cluttered with someone else's thoughts that are not truly coming from you. Sometimes the mind can be so cluttered, especially depending on how long we have these individuals around us, and we know that they're already sucking the life to the point of your life to become their life. Their life is such a not a comfortable state, but they just want other people to be involved too. Some people will take the time out to even make others aware of their bad habits. Some people have a bad habit of going back into the past. A bad habit of repeat after repeat, same humdrum, non-uplifting, not empowering, non-empowering conversations. So non-empowering to the point where they want individuals to meet them there on their level. If you try to bring a sense of a remedy, a sense of empowerment to uplift the atmosphere, and it's study being shunned or not being embraced, that is a bad habit, because it will start to have people feeling like, wait a minute, what I'm saying is being minimized. It's not of value. How can the mind expand in a growth of a relationship if persons are not allowed to communicate effectively with how they feel? How are you able to build, to create a bond of sort? This is how boundaries are set in place, because sometimes people unfortunately don't know their place. And when a person is in a position of not presenting, people have to be held accountable for something. Some people do not want accountability to be an effective mechanisms in their lives. And because of that, they will take it upon themselves to bring you into a situation that can be considered uncomfortable. So when you really think and observe your life as a whole and think about how much time that has possibly been wasted on continuously being around those who probably should have been cut off or had a reset with how you want to redirect that particular relationship or relationships. I think sometimes we forget that we honestly do set the pace as to how we want to be treated. We want to be respected. We have to know that we have to go into the situation. It's okay to be friendly. It's okay to be cheerful. It's okay to, be laid back at certain instances, but you have to be aware of who you are and what your personality is. You have to stay true to who you are, because in this world that we live in, unfortunately, sometimes people will take kindness for weakness. It's still a way to be respectful. It's still a way to be kind. But unfortunately, people sometimes feel like once they do take a stand for themselves, how is it going to make the other person feel? When in actuality, we are to be able to elevate ourselves, feel good about ourselves, and have our set boundaries. Everyone in this world is not meant to be your friend. Some people are going to be passed by people, meaning in this life, we're just passing through, going through the motions of that moment. Like sometimes people are honestly supposed to be in your life only for a season. Now, who's to say everybody we meet is going to be bad people? Maybe, but maybe not. Everybody we meet is going to be good people and non-bad habit people that want to put their perspectives and force people to think like them, breathe like them, do things like them. I mean, honestly, I do think what does make this world go around when we do have opinions and we do have a conversation. But bad habit people sometimes don't even know how to say thank you. Bad habit people don't even know how to say you're welcome. They don't have respect of persons. Bad habit people, and then when it's done to them, they seem to be able to recognize that. They seem to be able to recognize when they're the ones that's being overlooked. They seem to be able to recognize when there's no empathy being shown to them. They're the first ones to scream out like, well, that wasn't right, or you could have said something, or you owe me this apology. Or it would have been nice had the situation gone like this. Bad habit people are kind of self-engrossed with themselves that they sometimes think what they do is right. The speed that they do it is right on time. Like they live in this bubble of their own. But in actuality, they don't recognize what their bad habits are. And that's why staying true to who you are and what you need to do in order to do well in life, meaning be able to accept the things you cannot change. Therefore, you don't have to focus on what is so bad, what are they not doing right. Do what's best for you. If the person just totally refuses and just cannot get it right, that's just a personal choice, personal growth that people have to make decisions for themselves. But bad habit people, they can be some interesting people along the way. But at the same time, who doesn't have a bad habit along the way that needs to be corrected? But let's be real, some people's bad habits are a little bit more deeply rooted and seated, bound by them roots, that they just want to continue to stay stuck to be a bad habit person. Say no to bad habit life. Find what de-stresses you. Find your happy place. Bad habit people, sometimes they need to be left right where they're at. Don't keep meeting up with bad habit people. I'm telling you, they'll try to put that energy off on you. And if that ain't you and you already know who you are and whose you are, just keep it moving to the next episode.